Welcome back to the channel, guys. Merry Christmas and all that jazz. As you're probably aware from messaging me, I've recently moved, so things are a bit slow and I don't really reply to much Facebook or Instagram messages much anymore. Just been too flat out. But last night we managed to pick up the 31 and the 32 sedan from the workshop. They pretty much sat outside all year underneath the mulberry tree. Just a bit too busy. I had to push them outside for the space. The workshop was only 98 square metres, so needed the floor space to build parts and stuff. But got them home now. Been building a few parts for them over the last year, even though they haven't been fitted, so I'll show you some of the parts we acquired over the year. So I managed to pick up this front bar for it. So I think it's a CCW lip kit that's molded into a Series 3 front bar. You can see from the back they've just fiberglassed it in pretty shoddily, but it looks alright from the front, so that's probably all that matters. And then as you probably noticed, my roof was pretty stuffed, so I managed to pick up Liam Cahill's old roof, so off his 31. You've probably seen it on Archie kicking around, but I believe it's a dealer fitted sunroof, so it's a pop-up one, not a slide one. I'm going to try and get that grafted onto my beast, because I'll show you in a minute, but the rust in the roof's pretty bad. Also managed to get a new set of rims, so 17 by 9. I think these are CRK copies, so that they're definitely rotors. Full set of 17 by 9, so front and rear. And naturally, because of the LCAs in the car, the front continue to stick out a fair bit, so they're hanging out there. But other than that, the car's pretty much just sat. Pilfered parts of it, like always, like the caster bracket and caster rod setup's missing out of it. One of the Toowoomba guys needed a set to go to Matsuri, so I pretty much took it out of my car to send it to him. And then I think we've only just fitted a brake master cylinder brace, and today we were fitting these extended camber tops in, trying to pull some more camber out of the car. It was currently at 8.5 degrees with the new lower control arms in it, and we've got it back to 4.5 now, and then I think just camber bolts should do the rest, get it back in the 3.5 degree range. So other things that we tinkered with today, so coming down into the wheel well, you've probably seen my Lock City video where I did the LCAs or whatever. So trialling some new LCAs, so these ones are 12mm plate, laser cut, and just got a kink in it, so they run a factory ball joint in them. I ran my knuckles, and then I've had to make the tie rod set up, so it's got a big bump steer adjuster in it. And then yeah, an aluminium cut down piece of hex from one of my stuffed up upper trailing arms. So I managed to tap it forward in by 2 and screw it onto this rack end's a Camry rack end. It's the longest one I can get, so I think it's 361mm. And then yeah, so run a rose joint in the inner now, and I just currently have it mocked up with the original caster rod because of, yeah, like I said before, I pulled it out to send my other Toowoomba guys to Matsuri. And then yeah, if you need any braided conversion brake lines, got plenty of them in stock. So these ones are 75mm longer because of the big track, so it can articulate through its range without stretching the line, so that works out quite good. And then probably the big issue with the car, so I put tape on the roof to try and stop the rust bubbles from wearing through, but then this one over here has managed to make its way through, so sort of why I've picked up a spare roof skin, and luckily I found one with the sunroof because I've always wanted a 31 with a sunroof. I don't know if you can see it, but it's pretty bad. The other ones in the back probably not as good either. And then naturally going inside, had to pilfer a bit, so at one point in time I've pulled the hydro mount out of the car. Still got the RB gang handle there and the base. Still got the RB gang handle there and the base. Cylinder should be kicking around. It's still got the braided line in the car, so you'll find these on the store as well. The dual caliper line kits, they're quite good. But yeah, so I've pulled a bit of that out to help someone out as well. All in all, it's not gone too bad. The other important piece that I managed to acquire is a one-piece tail shaft, also out of Liam Cahill's Archerfield nugget. So needed a tail shaft. Mine was pretty flogged the front uni was just like fractured through all the ends and lost all the needles in it. And the rear one was no good either, so it saves me trying to get one made, just buy one out of a car that was running. So these are the parts that have changed over in it. So these are the LCDs out of the car that you probably would have seen in the Lock City video. So they've got the dimples on the bottom and they're extended 25mm, but they're R33 arms, so they're already, you know, a good 25mm longer than a factory one. So it's probably 50mm longer than a factory. And so these are the new ones. These are laser cut mild steel. Run a factory ball joint, just haven't got the grommet on, or I haven't got the circlip on as well. And then run a 3/4 inch right end on the inside. Gives me much articulation without binding in the bush, so I can run a lot more caster in the car. And then the other difference in it is you can see that I probably set it up with it wound all the way in, that it's roughly 30mm longer than what I've got in the car. So these are about 65mm longer than factory. And then you can see where the caster rod pickups are here. I've moved them in an inch to try and pull the factory caster rod away, give more wheel clearance without having to run curved caster rods. For those people that don't want to run them or just want to run a factory rod, they have a pretty good factory caster rod setup. You should still be able to do that. And these are the new camber tops. So these are the original camber tops out of the MDUs, and these are the new ones that I made. So you could probably guesstimate there's extra 25mm of travel in this thing. So you have to notch the strut tower a bit to get them in, but it's managed to pull another 2 degrees of camber out of my setup. So there is a bit of notching, but yeah, I think it's worth it for what it is. Gives me a good tunable range. The other thing that's gone on with the car is I've lifted it up probably 35-40mm, trying to fix some of the alignment without running big roll center correction ball joints. Just running cheap factory ones. The easiest way to fix all the front end is to lift it back up, but the car still over centers a bit on steering lock, so I still haven't fixed that. So you can see that's full lock turning right, and then you can see here it's over centered on the rack. It's a bit hard to turn it back, but then if you keep turning it, that's full lock going left, so it's not too bad. But I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but it clears the caster rod with the mount moved in, so that worked out a treat. And then it seems to have its range of movement in the ball joint without actually binding or anything like that, so that's worked out quite good as well. I'm going to have to build a new cross member for it. In these factory cross members, you've probably seen in my other video that you can only move them forward 15mm before they start to rub on the lower control arm bolt out the back, so that will start to tear up the boots. But either I'm going to try and fit an R32 one and modify it to suit and see if I can get some around 40-45mm of rack forward compared to a 31 one, or I'll have to make a custom one and aim for that 40-45mm. And then the last outstanding bit here is I probably have to make a new steering spacer. You can probably see where the groove is, where the bolt spacer sits below the clamp. So that's where the bolt is, and it's supposed to sit in that groove. Because the rack's 15mm forward, I've had to slip it off the shaft, but I'll have to make a extended one to get it back onto that. Especially with this is only 15mm, but if I go 40mm or anything bigger than that, I'll probably have to make something that'll take up 30mm or something around that to get it back into that sweet spot where it's supposed to be. And then you'll probably see that when I turn, it buckles and it does all sorts of weird things. So fixing that will probably be a high priority. It gives a bit of a weird feeling in the steering wheel, even with the car jacked up. So I'll fix that, and then she should be apples. And hopefully that'll fix all my overcentering problems, and once I do a new caster rod setup, I'll have the whole front end back together. That's pretty much it on the 31, and 32 is pretty much sat outside next to it the whole time. Pilfered the gearbox out of it. Jamie Haynes has got it in his wagon at the moment, so lending it to a good dude for a good cause. So going to finish the fab on it, so I've still got to do the twin turbo manifolds for the 25 head These are 32 GDR turbos, but I've got 33 ones. And the other thing I want to do is I want to run both of the cars on drive-by-wire, so get rid of the throttle cable. 31s they're pretty much flog out anyway with the turbo setup, so still got to do that. Do all the plumbing and put the cooler in the front, but yeah, try and do a front facing and run a XR6 turbo 3540, plumb it all up, do a mid-mount cooler setup and get all that sorted out. And this one's pretty much the same. Cooler's already there, just got to weld the elbows on it, plumb it all up. Got to do an adapter to run the forward drive-by-wire throttle body because I already got the brackets to do the pedals, so planning to run both cars on a link, so they should control the drive-by-wire quite good and give me all the traction control and all that jazz that this car already has in it. Yeah, so not much has happened with this, but now that I got them both here, I can slowly chip away at them. Main priority is on getting the 31. I pretty much got all the bits other than the ECU on the dash for it now, so pretty much can just chip away at it and hopefully show you a bit more of how I'm doing things on this car as I do them. You've already seen the video for the front brakes, and you've probably already seen the crossmember video. I'll show you a video on how I did the LCAs as well, and a few other bits and pieces. Moving on to the rear, still got to do the Watts link, and then all the traction brackets and all the trailing arms and stuff. Finish the fabrication of those curved trailing arms. I've got all the bits here, I just got to find some time to do it. Now hopefully, now that it's all here, I can chip away at it and get it all done for you guys. But thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and if you wanted to see anything specific, always swing a message through and I'll try and do all the closing parts for all the videos that I created in the next couple of months. And if I don't talk to you beforehand, Happy New Year, and I'll see you out and about somewhere.